Welcome to Make It Monday. So today we are going to use a page out of those books or the newspaper or a magazine, a page that has mostly type print on it. And we are going to turn it into something that is called blackout poetry. I love blackout poetry. It is a way of creating a number of different ways. I get to create a poem of some type, and then I get to go in and create an image of some type on the page as well too. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take one of these books and we are going to choose a page out of it. I am going to use this one today because it's a little bit larger. Print. You can use a page like this that has an image as well and some type print, and then your final project will have that image incorporated into it, and that can be very, very pretty. So for today, I'm just going to look for a page. How do I do this? I go through and I'm sort of looking for words that kind of jump out at me or that I could incorporate into a poem. I sometimes am looking at the title across the top of the page if I'm going to use that for part of the title. This one has friendship in it. Maybe I can find a page here. Now that's probably the hardest part, is going through finding a page with words on it that you like. I'm actually going to go back here and I'm going to use this page right here. I'm going to tear that page out of the book. Makes it easier to use. Just making a little bit of a line, opening up, sort of breaking that binding a bit, which I don't like to do in my books. And that came out quite nicely. A little bit of irregularities along the side. You can cut that off with a pair of scissors. I actually like that ragged edge on it, so I'm just going to leave it for purposes today. The next thing I am going to do is I have decided I'm going to use page 120. And at this point, I'm also going to just take and see, I've got just a clip folder and a piece of paper, because at some point I am going to use a Sharpie and I don't want it going through the book page onto my table. I'm going to start out by using a pen. You can also use a pencil at this point. And I am going to change chairs so that we can maybe see this a little bit better and work on it together. Okay. Now at this point, I'm going to read through and I am going to start creating my poem by selecting words. You can do this two ways. You can take and use your ruler and underline those words or circle them, and I like to circle them. And I am going to use a pencil in case I change. I'm going to use the word right at the top, adventures, and I'm going to circle it. And I'm going to continue reading down and creating that poem by circling words. If you're doing this with somebody, you can ask them, what words jump out at you? What words do you like? Or if it's somebody who is unable to read, you can read the words for them and get them to prompt by either raising a hand or saying yes to the words they want you to circle, and then it would be their poem with you assisting with that process. I'm going to circle the word I right at the top. And the word books. So you see how I'm going through and I'm circling the words that I like. Okay, so this process is going to take a little bit, so I am just going to do that, and I'm going to speed through this part of the video, and then we'll come back and see what we've come up with and continue on to the next part. And we're back. I have gone through my page and circled the words. My poem reads, adventures. I say books, surprise, beauty, wonder, humor, tragedy, book. So you can see from those words that I have chosen to create a poem about a book from a book page. I've made many of these and I really, really do enjoy them. So now that we have created the poem and you have created your poem, we are going to turn it into a piece of blackout poetry. Blackout poetry is by taking that sheet and using those words. Now this can be created a number of ways. You can do it just this way and go back in and make those circles or underlines around your words a little bit darker by using a pen or a marker or a Sharpie or a highlighter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I am going to simply draw a line through everything that is not one of my circled words. I'm going to use a ruler to assist me with that. And that's how I am going to create my blackout poetry. And then we're going to take a look at that. Okay, so I'm going through and I'm leaving the words that I have circled. Adventure, I say. So again, we're just going to speed through this step because it is time consuming. And when I have done everything, we're going to come back and take a look at it. You can do the same on your side. So I've gone out through the page and I have drawn a line through the things that are not circled. You can still see the words underneath on there, so there's a number of ways. You can leave it that way or go on to the next step. I'm going to make those words a little bit more dominant by circling them with the black now. You could use a color. Really, that creative process is totally up to you. You can go in and you can use a highlighter and highlight your words, and they would stand out a little bit more as well. You can make a thicker line. You can draw a picture around the words. You could paint around the words. I added a group of words at the bottom because as I was drawing the lines, they sort of stuck out for me. Okay, so you can see how that is coming along. Now I'm going to take my highlighter and I'm going to highlight those words. And that's just going to make them show up a little bit more. So this is a piece of poetry artwork that you create for yourself. You can add it to your art journal. You can frame it. And you keep looking at it and adding as you go along. So I love how the yellow really stands out. I could go back in and create a hash by going sort of a crosshatch design. I could go in with a thicker Sharpie and take and really black out all of those words on there. And then it would just simply be the words that I've circled. I really like the look of that. And I can do a combination. Blackout poetry. I love being able to take something existing, a page of an old book, or a page that's laying around, and find a new purpose, use, or beauty in it. For me right now, it's blackout poetry, and I love being able to express myself in just another way. So I get to create an art piece and a poetry piece all at the same time. I'm hoping that you have a chance to try creating your own blackout poetry. If you have a chance to do so, I would love to see your work. If you take a picture, you can post it and post it in the comment section on our Cosmopolitan Industries Facebook page. And I can see what you are creating with books and blackout poetry. I'm going to continue shading in the rest of this. And when it's done, I will take a picture, show you what I've been working on and what it turned out like. Blackout poetry. Thanks for joining me today for Make It Monday. I had a great time as always. We'll see you again.